next panel is going to be how AI and Web3 will shape the future of the internet. And welcome to James Bourque. Okay, you turned it off?
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, think that works. Cool. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. My name is James Bourque. I will be your moderator today. I am the CEO and co-founder of Intu. We're a cryptography infrastructure company that now focuses on bridging AI, blockchain, and cloud through our unification layer. We have a very exciting topic for everyone today: how AI and Web3 will shape the future of the internet. And so first up, I'd like to bring on stage Joanna from Libertai. Round of applause for Joanna, everyone. Hey, there you go. You want to do your quick introduction and or you want to bring everyone on? Okay, and next, Gwendall. Gwendall from exo.fm. And last but not least, we have David Wang from Opendesci.org. Big round of applause. All right, so like this, there you go. Okay. Introductions then. Joanna, quick introduction. Tell us about yourself.
Yes.
Some context.
Thank you, James, for the introduction. I'm Joanna. I come from Puerto Rico, but I'm living in Paris. And I'm building a Web3 platform for private AI. So our platform in Libertai, it's pushing privacy-preserving apps. We are working at the intersection of Web3 and AI because we have agents that are user-owned. When someone creates an agent, we can have it accessible through a wallet. We have an authentication, and the decentralization part comes also on the AI agent sides, how it works. So I'm really happy to see that there is finally options for us to own AI, and I think this is very promising.
Open source, let's go.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Gwendall.
Hey everyone, so I'm Gwendall. I've been in tech for about 15 years. Web3, blockchain about 5, and building mostly at the intersections of the immersive web and AI. And I cannot give, I'm launching this platform called exo.fm. Cannot give away too much information now because it's not launched yet, and we keep it a surprise for the launch. But yeah, happy to chat about the internet today.
All right, and David.
Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you so much. I'm David Wang, serial entrepreneur, investor, Forbes 30 under 30, and founder of Opendesci, which is an education science content platform. And we just started the company beginning this year, and we already skyrocketed. And happy to be today in Monaco speaking about the future of the internet and the intersection of AI and Web3.
Okay. So, as to have any conversation about the future of the internet, I think it's very important to first kind of establish a baseline. So we have the internet. We use the internet for everything. Everything's online. Everything's digital, right? You can't live a fulfilling life without being online today, right? You probably can't access your bank account or register to vote. There's so many things that we do online. Where do we think the problems with the internet lie today? What are the opportunities that the future of the internet can fix, right? Especially when it comes to privacy, when it comes to research, when it comes to top secret projects that we can't talk about very much. I'd love to just kind of start with that so that we can, when we can kind of put into context what we think the future should be. So yeah, where can we start to improve the internet today? What's wrong with the internet today?
Verification. There is a lot of fake news, fake engagement, fake everything, and sometimes we don't know where the info comes from. Like, there is a missing piece of sources when we read news. There is a missing piece when we see someone that looks like a human, but it's not a human. So I think blockchain gives that layer of provenance, verification. We have this ledger, this public ledger, the history of a content, and that could be the layer missing on internet, like provenance verification. But now with AI, there is a lot of creation, and there is a lack of ownership of this creation. And that's another layer for me that can be interesting for the overlap of AI, blockchain, and internet. It's like given the provenance, but also the user ownership. So anybody that creates a content can show at which moment they created. And yeah, for me, it's the verification proof of AI on internet.
So almost beyond transparency and verification, it's now also redefining ownership of data, intellectual property. I mean,
yes, the boundaries of what is public, what is private, what is my property. There is a missing piece also on property on internet, because everything is public. You cannot show if you own an idea, if you own a content. So I think this is the part that is missing, is what AI and Web3 can do now.
Okay. Anything you guys like to add, like on top of that?
Yeah. I mean, being able to verify and authentify information on the internet is definitely important. Like, I mean, right now when you open Instagram or any social media, you see AI slope, you see the Yeti doing vlogging, and so yeah, you don't know what's made, like what's been truly humanly created and what's been done by AI. But personally, I don't see it as something that we should fight. We should just embrace it. Like, AI is just a crazy creative tool that enables anyone to create cool content, interesting content. And I mean, maybe the dead internet theory will come true. Like, most of the content on the internet will be made by AI and agents. And it's just the natural order of things. We'll still, be, I'm sure in a couple of years there will be labels saying this content has been made by humans, and there will be some negative view on AI generated content, but it will be very like a hipster thing. It will be just, you probably have like.
I mean, I was almost going to ask, like, does AI generated content, right? Like, if you're an AI artist or if you're using AI to do peer reviews, does that count as something that you created? Like, is the prompt and then the black box and then the output, does that count as?
Yeah, that's a very interesting topic. I know a lot of artists are feeling, we are stealing from them. Like all these platforms feeding their models on their pieces of art and them not getting any income back. I mean, that's definitely a thing that is taking place. Like models to allow human content creators to make a living from what's coming from them and what are feeding models. It will make even more sense when, if AI take most jobs, like you have to find a way to, I mean, it's like another topic, but yeah,
okay.
I don't know what you.
Dave, what about in your world?
Before we jump into the deep topics about what's AI and Web3 in the internet, we should go one step back and think about how the internet has started. When the internet has started in the beginning, it was like a couple of waves or stages. The first stage was read only. You see only pages which are static. The second stage was happening was like kind of like the apps and the platform economy, where we all know Amazon, Airbnb, Uber, they came up. And then the next wave which has started was the big creator economy in the internet, where you suddenly, instead of reading data, consuming content, you create your own content. That's what you see right now on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And then there's something more magical that happens when it started with the beginning of the blockchain technology. Suddenly it gets decentralized. Who are the clear ownership of your data? And now something more fascinating happening is really artificial intelligence. So now we are right now the way new next wave coming up, where generative AI is having a really critical role, how it will be in our industry. And even if I reflect myself, well, when I was a student, when I had a problem, there was a typical word, just Google it. Now, if I have a question, I don't use Google anymore. I use ChatGPT or other solutions. And this is what we see right now, where people right now shifting their user habits into where AI plays a more major role. And this is right now very interesting to see and observe how the future will shape the internet, especially with technology.
So I guess almost within that context, just to dig a little bit deeper, is the AI in this case, is this a tool that a human being is using for an output, or is this an agent that is able to act independently, right? That does its own thing and that has its own identity? Like, where's the line between the two, right? I don't know if that makes sense. Like, if you're a researcher and you have a hard problem and you ask the right question to the AI and the AI solved it, but you couldn't solve it yourself, is that a tool, or is that the agent taking your initiative and figuring it out on its own? Same thing for like creativity, or like if it's an Instagram thing, like I have an AI agent, I don't know, influencer, right? I created the AI influencer, but the AI influencer is making its own magic. If the intellectual property is the magic, kind of where do we think that the line should be drawn in this future of the internet that we're looking for?
Last month I was in a panel with artists that use AI to for augmented creation. And they were speaking about AI as a co-creator. So I think there is another notion that will come also with these AI agents, is that they become part of your work, but they are also self-entities by themselves, that they have their own reasoning, they have their own context, they have their own information. And that brings another perspective that normally we will not have, because we don't have so much context like an AI agent could have, with different data sets and all the information that they can look for on internet or on blockchain. So I think there is another notion that AI agents will become self-entities, and they will become citizens also of the internet in a way. Like today, we are on forums. Tomorrow there will be agents also responding on forums.
I mean, I think they already are. That's the.
Right? I see it on
all
Twitter.
the fake news. Come on, like it's.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean it's coming. Like even there, you have robots in the room already. They are sleeping, they are not active, but soon there will be working AI agents among us. You know, like with a physical body. But that's an interesting topic actually. You know, when I write some code, and I use really everyday agents. You know, as part of my workflow, and it's crazy because the other day I didn't have internet anymore, and I couldn't use my cloud agents, and I felt powerless. Like I could do the thing, but it's like, as you say, it's really like a co-creator. The way I work with AI is really almost as a real being, you know, as a real person I would be working with, you know, like a part of my team. And yeah, it's very powerful. And just to jump back on what you said about the history of the internet, I think it's very interesting to have this idea of going from the static to dynamic and social internet to somehow decentralized with blockchain. But the cool stuff also with AI is that it's really becoming also a conversational internet, like a living internet, you know. I'm pretty sure every interface, everything will be conversational, you know, in the near future. It won't be just you looking at an interface and clicking buttons. It will be personified, personified representation of whatever service you're using on the internet that you'll be interacting with mostly. That's the next wave on the internet. You know, it's like, that's cool.
So co-creation.
Yeah, co-creation and communication as if you are speaking with a real person. You know, like personification of the internet. You know, the internet is becoming a bunch of sentient beings, live 24/7 that you can interact with.
I've started having AI agent for the backend stack. send emails to the AI agent for the front end stack, and they're communicating and just standing back watching the circus.
Soon you will, soon you won't even have to go there anymore. It will be just agents chatting, maybe.
All right, let's push a little bit further then into the future of the internet, which is really what we're here to talk about. I know we've been kind of skirting it. David, why don't you kick us off? What do you think are the important characteristics, the important things that we need to do in the internet for the next generation? What are the core principles that, as people who are building and designing, that we should try and aspire to?
Yeah, happy to jump into what the future of AI is. From my background, what I learned in the past as a computer science guy is always about definition. And I'm not a big fan when people speaking so much about AI agents, AI, and all the buzzwords without knowing the key ingredients. And the challenge is sometimes what we realize is how to explain complex topics in a simple way. When I was working as a management consultant at Wall Street, I realized use simple words. And there's one term what I learned that called a cookbook. The cookbook is like telling your clients what to do and explain it in a very simple way. And if my mom is asking me, what is AI? What is the key ingredients of AI? Actually, it's basically very simple. You need to build a great AI product, actually 3 key ingredients. One is algorithm. Second, compute power. Third is data. I recently read a really interesting paper of Alexander Wang. You'll probably hear in the news that he had a huge exit to Meta, founder of Scale AI. And the fun story is, I just recently texted yesterday Lucy Guo, the co-founder of Scale AI, had a short chat with her. And Alexander Wang literally said, very interesting, what's your value proposition in AI is, you have these 3 fields. What is the key ingredient of these 3 if you can choose one? I would say algorithm, it's a matter of time. You see ChatGPT was the first mover, then DeepSeek is coming. So it's a matter of time that the competitors will overtake you who has the best algorithm. The second problem is, the key ingredient is compute power. Compute power is like a money thing. Who has the best access to NVIDIA Blackwell chips? Who has the most money? Has access to compute power. So this you can solve it. But what is the key ingredient of to be superior in AI is actually data. Who has the best quality of data? Who has categorized the data the best way? And that's the reason why it matters so much. And even right now, what we see recently, I call it war of AI, literally happened, what happened in Silicon Valley with OpenAI and Meta. To be honest, OpenAI is very strong in algorithm. There's a first mover in the compute power. They already have some data, but I'm sure Meta and Alphabet, they have a huge, bigger database because these companies are existing way longer. So it's a matter of time to have an eye on Meta and Alphabet.
Right, and yes, and to your point, right, with Meta now owning 49% of Scale AI, Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, everyone is pulling their contracts and stopping that work with Scale AI because they no longer have the confidence that it won't end up becoming part of Llama, right? Cool.
But I think there is a risk with AI because AI is, for now, they are scrapping, they are copying all the internet content they find from Reddit and from Facebook and I don't know, you name it. There is no transparency how this data was gathered. And there is also like no verification of the data sets. Like you have human annotation, there is humans, people behind the models that says this works, this doesn't work. They train the models. And we see it when we use ChatGPT. They show us 2 answers and they put us to train the models for free. We're getting farmed in a way because we're training their models for free. But I think there is a problem of redundancy. Like there is no curation on, sometimes there is no curation in AI. We have this is why we need to choose the good result that we want. We guide also the AI with prompts, with instructions, and we are risking to all have the same tone, the same monotone way of thinking, and that's the risk also of internet, because we are speaking in in echo chambers. We are listening what we want to hear, and we see it in Twitter, for example. You are consuming the content that you want to consume, but it's not really the verification. There is no verification layer. This is why we were talking about fake news at the beginning, because there is a risk of changing how we see the reality and the truth. And this is like really risky, because AI will shape the way we see the world today and tomorrow. And for now, we have good education, we have the tools to discern what is an hallucination when an AI is just inventing stuff. But tomorrow, our students will not have the same capacity that we have. You were saying, Gwendall, that you cannot work without AI sometimes because you feel like the empty paper syndrome, that you don't know.
I'm too limited as a human being, you know. AI goes faster than me, mostly.
So yeah, there is a risk of thinking all the same, because we are getting, AI mimics us. Sometimes we say, like, when we hear children speaking to us like an adult, we are like, oh my God, he's speaking like an adult. Sometimes AI does that because they mimic us. And I think there is like, we need to educate people on how to use AI so they don't believe everything AI says.
So then how do we stop? So what you're saying is AI is very good at imitation, right? The magic is somewhere else. How do we stop the future of the internet from not just being an imitation of itself, redone 50 million times over and over and over again? Like, what are the must-haves for that future internet to prevent this, feedback loop of imitation and mimicking, as you said? Gwendall, David, response?
Maybe let me jump to, as I mentioned in the beginning, one of the key ingredients of AI is data. And this is also what's super important is if you train your AI model with bad data, then of course the model is of course providing you not the best answer. And even we are right now still in the beginning of the AI times. Even the fun story is right now AI is a very big word, but when I was a student like years ago as a computer scientist guy, AI was already there. Machine learning, it starts already in computer games, Industry 4.0, robotics, and so on. In the end, it's still like, it started actually already way earlier than now. But now, we see since with ChatGPT, the Big Bang effect, where people see suddenly, oh, AI has arrived at the everyday life of the normal people, of the mass consumers. And this is right now very interesting. And I totally agree with you. You need to be right now very carefully about the answers, what you receive from ChatGPT and so on. But I'm very confident that over the time, that the model will get better and better. In the end, the ultimate truth is the AI. And even what recently happened with DeepSeek and other competitors coming to the market, through competition, you prove your product. So in the end, I'm quite confident that most likely one superior model will survive.
And to jump back also, I think you reached touched a very interesting point about, one bad evolution that the internet may see. It's how AI will shape opinions. We already have we already had cognitive bubbles on social media for years. It's already, and we've seen the impact it has on the world and how everybody is very polarized. Opinions are very more and more extreme, and So these are like, human cognitive bubbles. Like social media and algorithms group people with similar opinions together, and you only interact with content that shares your belief of the world, your view of the world, and you get your own beliefs and opinion more and more extreme. So it's a known mechanism. But no, it's true that we'll get micro cognitive bubble, like personal cognitive bubble. We've seen it like with OpenAI made a statement a few weeks ago because they had this issue where they pushed the latest version of the model they pushed was always agreeing with the user, whatever the user was saying. It could be the worst idea. The AI was, yeah, it's great, do it. So they rolled it back. They published communicate about it. So companies like OpenAI are aware of the risk it represents, and I'm not sure all AI players care about it and have the means to handle it, but I think it will be, one of the main points of AI in the future of the internet is like how opinions will be impacted.
So I think that all of us started in decentralized blockchain, crypto, some flavor of, right? We've been doing this for a while. We just spent 30 minutes talking about AI. Like we're a bunch of blockchain people, decentralized people, talking about AI. For me, like Web3 it's the future. It's the meeting of emerging technologies, right? It's AI plus blockchain plus metaverse. And so I actually would have preferred that to say AI and blockchain will shape the future of the internet. So considering that we have privacy, decentralized science,
personal agents
stuff. Yes. Where does the blockchain fit in this future of the internet? Like, how does it help? Does it hurt? Do we need it? Is it practical? Like, yes, we have money, like digital money with blockchain, but back in 2015, 2016, the dream was decentralized computing. It was the world computer. It was freedom from AWS and GAFM, right? Where's the blockchain in all this future? That's it's a.
Let me jump into it.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm a very strong Web2 serial entrepreneur, built already companies, I call it the old economy. And I realized often people, even myself, when I'm investing, I ask myself, what real problem you're solving in the world? And blockchain is like a technology, and behind this is actually the distributed ledger technology. And if you go back, the real use case why you need a blockchain is literally when you don't need a mediator or you don't have trust in the mediator. I had recently a fun chat when I met John from Mantra, one of the most successful RWA coins or crypto projects, blockchain projects. And in my case, it's like, when you need RWA or when you need to tokenize your stuff, the best example is like, back as I said at the beginning, say the simple words. Let's say you and your friends, you want to buy a house. You and your best friend want to buy a house. And you want to each have co-ownership of that house. Do you need a blockchain if you're only two people? I would say no. Set up a holding company, everybody has 50% shares, buy that house, buy that apartment. Simply solution. When you need the blockchain solution is when it's happening if you have suddenly 1,000 co-owners of the house. How do you solve 1,000 co-owners of the house? If you put this in a notary or in the shareholder agreement, complicated to have 1,000 LPs on the list. Then you can set up a smart contract where this is the use case. So this is what I always ask myself. When you're building right now companies or blockchain projects, even myself, I had today amazing talk with people here. I see young energy in the crowd. Always asking yourself, what real problem are you solving? Do you really need the blockchain? Or maybe you can also build it in the Web2 approach. And that matters.
So if we took the example of the house and we extended it, do you think that the blockchain can then help with, let's say, intellectual property? Are we co-creating with AI and co-creating with other human beings and using the blockchain to kind of establish a new model of ownership? I mean, I don't want to say a DAO. I don't want to say maybe RWAs is probably a closer example, but can we apply that to all of this data, which is the major commodity for the future of the internet?
Yes, I think that one good example is what we're building at Libertai. We have agents that have their own knowledge, and you can have it in an interoperable way. Thanks to decentralization, you can use an agent from one platform to the other, and that gives another perspective on how to use these AI agents with your proprietary data within different environments. This is what is really interesting in the intersection of AI and blockchain, that you can use the same AI agent in different environments. We have we're working with a client, Ubisoft, for example. They are one of the biggest game studios in France. They have Assassin's Creed and IPs like Rayman and you name it. And we're building AI agents that are attached to a player's NFT. They have games that profile is an NFT, so you can use that key and that information to create an agent. And then the agent also is usable for governance, for example, in the game. So that's a promising application of giving users the ownership of their AI and use it for different purposes. It could be governance, it could be a way of playing, it could be personalization, like you were saying, Gwendall, on the experiences. And I think it's a matter of giving an identity to these agents that are, for now, centralized. Like outside ChatGPT, you cannot use your AI in another environment. And I think this is a promising landscape for not only gaming, but also decentralized science. If you're a patient and you want to have your information of health records, and you want to move from one place to the other, and you have an AI agent for you, or for your research, you can show how this AI is working in a decentralized way, not only because it's interesting for moving from environments, but also because you have ownership of these softwares. AI is just pieces of software, and we are sometimes forgetting that this is just another way of interacting with interfaces in a conversational way, and we need to have ownership of it so we can get the most of it.
AI agents?
AI agents. No, and briefly, it's like about the place of Web3 and blockchain in the internet. Yeah, I think there is like a part of utopia of what blockchain, like how the internet should be, how it would be better with decentralization and everything. And there is reality, like what people embrace, what people want, you know. And we've seen it, you know, when I started getting into blockchain, I was so full of hopes and idealism. And you realize most people don't care about that, you know. It's like if you look in, you know, like tons and tons of companies want to put blockchain on everything, and as you say, like in most use cases you don't need blockchain, and like people have shown that they, in gaming for example, people are very opposed to having NFTs in games, you know, because it brings some financialization, it breaks the spirit of the game, and in many industries, you know, you have this, you have OpenAI, you have all these Google, you know, all these centralized companies that work very well with centralized server that scale really well and don't need blockchain, you know. To me, like the proven product market fit for crypto has been speculation, you know, like using crypto as a financial asset, and that's the most resilient use case of blockchain, and that's what has been working. And if I would bet on one use case, like how crypto will impact the internet in the future, it would be if the internet evolves into more of a creator economy at scale, you know, if like everybody loses their job because of AI and people find different jobs, you know, different ways of like having an income with content or whatever, like the crypto is definitely a good fit for that. It's a great medium for this new financial system. But yeah.
All right, well, we've got a few minutes left, so I think we're just going to do a quick round of 3 words, future of the internet, no explanation, like 2 minutes tops, 60 seconds tops. What's the future of the internet for you? What's important? What matters? If you want, I can go first.
I would say the future of the internet AI will play definitely an important role. And Bitcoin goes to 500,000, I'm sure.
All right.
So always harder.
Always holding. There's the crypto.
3 words: living, breathing internet.
Okay, AI agents, let's go.
Liberty, privacy, and decentralization, because I'm a maxi.
Data ownership,
Data ownership,
transparency.
verification.
Did we say decentralization? Open source. I'd like to see more open source.
Yeah.
For infrastructure, not for code. I
Yeah.
want to see open source infrastructure. Well, I think that takes up just about our time. I'd like to say thank you very much to our panelists. Can we have a nice big round of applause? Thank you everyone for listening. Hope you guys have a lovely day here in Monte Carlo, and we hope to see you guys around. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Woohoo, Bitcoin 500,000.
Yeah. Now I will know your name. Thank you.
Can you handle it? Yeah, thank you. Hello, hello. Thank you, James and team. Next, we have Don Alucard. He is a jack of all trades over at NEXA, and he'll be telling us all about it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Don Alucard, and today I'm going to take you on a short journey. I hope I will be able to transfer my enthusiasm about NEXA to you and to everybody who will be able to watch us on different channels. This talk is called NEXA Unlimited because that's exactly what NEXA represents. No limits. No limits on engineering, no limits on scalability, no limits on creativity. No limits on who gets to build the future. NEXA is here to restore what blockchain promised: freedom, ownership, and global access. Let's explore what that means. To understand NEXA, you must understand where it comes from. Not from media hype, not from a corporate lab, but from a software team that's been developing quietly for over a decade, Bitcoin Unlimited. Bitcoin Unlimited was formed in 2015 by developers who believed in on-chain scaling when it was deeply unpopular. They stood for freedom, user choice, and performance. They didn't theorize, they didn't tell empty stories. They built, they tested, they shipped. When the time came to apply everything they learned, they created NEXA in 2022. So we begin. To actually understand NEXA, you must understand where it comes from. Not from media hype, not from a corporate lab, but from a software team that's been building quietly for over a decade, Bitcoin Unlimited. Bitcoin Unlimited was, every breakthrough starts with curiosity. NEXA started with a bold question. What if we could keep the stability and security of Bitcoin UTXO model, but make it programmable, functional like Ethereum, then go much further and make it highly scalable, ready for the real world? Andrew Stone, NEXA lead developer, started experimenting, not with buzzwords, but with building blocks. New opcodes, new transaction logic, new optimization, and scalability ideas. It wasn't a clone, it wasn't an imitation, it was fresh R&D effort called NextChain. Over time, it evolved into NEXA, a clean chain, clean principles, fair, scalable, and free from the political baggage of legacy forks. Yes, NEXA was a software fork of Bitcoin software, but not a clone, not just a tweak, and definitely not another fork chasing nostalgia. NEXA is a complete rebuilding of the Bitcoin software. it has broken the chains of the past, literally and philosophically, to create something new. Bitcoin Unlimited didn't fork Bitcoin to repeat it. Bitcoin forked it to free it. And in doing so, the team built NEXA. NEXA's advanced UTXO model is highly functional, parallelized, and fast enough for widespread real-world adoption. NEXA was launched for the people, by the people, not from the privileged. If there's one word we take seriously at NEXA, it's fairness. No ICO, no pre-mine, no seed round. Just a blockchain you could mine from day one, just like Bitcoin used to be. Because of that, nobody controls it, and nobody can access it, and everybody can access it. So NEXA is actually layer 1 UTXO. While most blockchain today are stuck patching problems with duct tape and rollups, NEXA started clean on layer 1, so it doesn't need to be fixed from the outside. UTXO is like a Lego, small, modular, and endlessly composable. That's why Bitcoin still runs on it. But NEXA took it further. Now it can do things Bitcoin and Ethereum can only dream of. What makes NEXA is unique is that BU took the UTXO model, known for its simplicity and power, gave it smart contracts, scalability, and flexibility. We didn't abandon the Bitcoin structure. We actually evolved it. Smart contracts have transformed blockchain, but they've also broken it in many ways. High fees, broken logic, failed bridges. Do I really need to say more? NEXA took a different path. We added the smart contract capabilities directly into the UTXO model without introducing the complexity and fragility of virtual machines. NEXA smart contracts support custom transaction logic, which means multi-sig, escrow, time-locked transfers, token issuance and transfers, NFT creation and ownership, on-chain swap, and many more. On NEXA, tokens and NFTs are native to the blockchain. No need to code a contract, just define token parameters. Tokens behave just like next currency units, which means predictable fees, safe transactions, scalable. On the other hand, NFTs are not virtual machine based. They use NEXA UTXO scripting to enforce ownership, metadata, and transfer conditions. NFTs can be images, videos, files, audio, or anything else you want. Minting and sending tokens and NFTs cost minimal fees, as the block size limit scales with demand. Future additions to NEXA use advanced cryptography, including Diffie-Hellman key exchange combined with Schnorr signatures. The process includes shared nonce to create shared secret, purchaser offer with signature based on public and private keys, seller signature to verify and post the transaction, secret discovery for the buyer to retrieve the hidden information. This system is perfect for selling secure digital items like encrypted files, intellectual property, or private documents. Most blockchains scale by stacking layers. NEXA doesn't need to. NEXA scales directly on UTXO layer 1, thanks to highly parallel transaction execution and the UTXO model. The block's time size is flexible. 10,000 transactions have run in parallel on the test network. NEXA is ready for micropayments, mass tokenization, and real-world traffic today. Every blockchain needs a wallet, but not every wallet actually deserves your trust. Wally Wallet isn't just an interface. It's a full-featured non-custodial gateway into the NEXA ecosystem. It puts you in control, your coins, your tokens, your NFTs, and your privacy, all on your phone or on your desktop. Send and receive NEXA, manage NFTs and tokens seamlessly, and full transaction history for everything. When people think of NFTs, they think of minting fees, bloated chains, and speculative JPEGs. NEXA is changing that, starting with Nifty Art, our first live marketplace. It's fast, affordable, and allows users to mint, trade, and showcase NFTs. Works seamlessly with Wallet NFT Viewer, encourages creative freedom and wide adoption, even for small artists or mass series. Made by the brilliant NEXA chief scientist Peter Reisen with Arseny Nekrasov, it is a lightning-fast signature verification engine for NEXA network full nodes. Scaling isn't just about bandwidth, it's about speed of validation. No matter how big your block is, if nodes can't verify fast enough, the chain stalls. With Blitz, NEXA can actually handle large blocks faster, validate more transactions per second at lower power, reduce CPU bottlenecks across nodes. NEXA is governed by Bitcoin Unlimited, and development comes directly from those who are building, not from insiders with a financial agenda. This isn't just a project, it's a commitment. The team behind NEXA is here for the long haul. Governance is handled through BIPs, which stands for Bitcoin Unlimited Improvement Proposals. Any BU member can write a proposal. The process is open, the decisions are public, and everything is transparent. It's a system that gives NEXA governance stability over stagnation, a rare balance in crypto. In crypto, everybody claims to be the next best thing, cheaper than Bitcoin, smarter than Ethereum, faster than Solana. Bitcoin gave us trust. Ethereum gave us programmability. Solana gave us speed. NEXA gives us all three at scale, without any need for compromise. If you want results, not just roadmaps, NEXA is already there. In a space filled with anonymous founders, rotating devs, and silent investors, NEXA stands apart. It was built and is still being built by a team of known and proven developers. Our team is not weekend coders or token engineers. They are infrastructure builders with many years of history and experience, with a deep understanding of what it takes to make a blockchain scale and last. The BU team has published research, spoken at major conferences, and written thousands of lines of code. In NEXA, the builders didn't disappear after a white paper. They are still delivering on it. NEXA didn't hire devs to build a chain. We built a chain because we were already developers. So basically what you've seen today is just the beginning. Due to a shortage of time, I wasn't able to put everything I wanted in this presentation. But I'm sure you'll be able to get a better picture of what NEXA really is. NEXA isn't a finished product. It's a living ecosystem that is still expanding, and we don't think of stopping anytime soon. What we have done is we've laid the foundation. Now we're building the future. Block rewards we have in April, which marks NEXA first halving. Tailstorm is NEXA upcoming engine to stabilize block creation intervals and provide fractional confirmations. A native decentralized exchange is being built for NEXA. Blitz is evolving faster and is becoming more powerful. The best part of all of this, hearing about it now, you're not late, you're still very early. This is what actually blockchain was meant to be, a foundation that empowers, not limits. Unlimited in scale to support billions of transactions. Unlimited in development to evolve as faster as the builders who are shaping it. Unlimited in creativity, where artists, developers, and visionaries all have a room to thrive. Unlimited in opportunity for anyone, anywhere, with an idea and an ambition. And most importantly, unlimited in what we can build forever. So this is NEXA. This is NEXA Unlimited. Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Don. Final panel for this afternoon, thank you all so much for your attention, is investing in AI or using AI to invest? Where's the real alpha? And we have Amelia Tomasicchio.
Thank you. So thank you for being here. It's very loud, so I will do my best to be focused. I'm Amelia Tomasicchio. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Cryptonomist, which is a media. We publish daily news about blockchain, Web3, AI, metaverse, and all the DeFi applications. So I'm very thrilled to moderate this panel today. Of course, on Cryptonomist, you can also find a section about AI, not only related about blockchain, but in general. So I would like to welcome our panelists. We have Dorian for KuCoin, Karine Arama, and Nadim Souss. We have. It's okay? Okay. So we have only one mic, so I will give you mine. First thing first, I would like you to introduce briefly yourself. We have like 40 minutes, and I have a lot of questions for you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so hi guys, nice to meet you here. Welcome to Monaco. I'm Dorian from KuCoin. So basically I manage everything that is partnership with every kind of company we work with in Europe, most specifically. So that ranges from institutional company, institutional investors to partners for payment solution, etc., etc. Any kind of interaction you want with the exchange in general, generally speaking, do not hesitate and come to me at the end.
Hi, I'm Karine Arama. I'm a partner in a venture capital fund called ACH Capital. We're based in Paris, and we invest in companies out of the US, from early stage to late stage, from blockchain infrastructure to AI, robotics, defense.
Hi, I'm Nadim, co-founder of the Y Protocol and founding partner of Alche Capital. We are an investment ecosystem and provide funding and advice and for Web3 projects.
Thank you. So my first question is for Karine. What are the metrics and data you rely on when it comes to investing in AI startups that are really early stage? So, you know, it can be tricky, you don't have a lot of data, you don't have a lot of background. So what do you do, and what do you suggest also to investors?
Sure. So for the past few years, there's been a real hype in the AI segment, we can say. So there have been like so many projects emerging, a lot of AI wrappers, a lot of whatever being labeled AI, looking for funding. And I think we've moved from an era where everyone wants to be in AI and everyone wants to invest in AI, to an era now which is way more structured, getting more mature, where we're going to focus on business models, what kind of data set do you have, what is your competitive advantage, is there a real technological barrier to entry in the technology you're developing, and also which market are you addressing really. So there is still a hype, and this is why there are like so many events, but not every company in AI is finding funding. What I look at really the most is two things. One, the technological barrier to entry, because to what point, if you have a good idea, you're going to have 20, 30 other startups doing exactly the same than you in a better way in the next 6 months. So your technology must be defensible, meaning in the next 10 years, you should keep your competitive advantage based on the technology you're building. And if you're not building very advanced technology, meaning, for instance, if you're not in the LLM infrastructure layer, or maybe you're working on AGI or ASI, and there is a real innovation context from a technological point of view, then it's your data set. How different your data set is. How much do you have of a proprietary access to a very fine data set in a segment which has not been approached yet. So this is the two things I primarily look at.
And I really like this panel because we have a lot of point of views. So it's not about investing in AI, but also how we can use AI to invest better. So my next question is for you, Dorian. Like how AI fits in the CX ecosystem? How KuCoin also use AI for helping people trade better?
So as far as sexes are concerned, and I think we have colleagues here, so you'll be able to check what I say with them as well later on. Well, we have AI first as a narrative. That's what we've observed. People were heavily interested and investing in AI narrative tokens. This is what we saw on crypto markets for the first half of this cycle, of this bull run. Then they were really decorrelated from any kind of added value that these projects actually brought. It was really a narrative. And to be honest, we've had the same kind of speaking points that we could have found with the internet bubble in the beginning. So it really follows any kind of technological investment bubble, in the sense that at first you have projects that really heavily rely on the narrative without even delivering sometimes. But in the end, you have this kind of maturing projects, maturing industry, and some people start saying, I heard recently somebody saying that ChatGPT, for example, generative AI, would not have impacted the world more than something like the type machine or some random piece of old tech. That was recent, actually, and it reminded me of when Paul Krugman back in the day said that the internet would not have impacted the world more than the fax back when the internet was in the middle of its bubble. So we're really having the same cycle, the same type of approaches to these projects, to this whole technology overall. But we should not lose focus, I think, on, even if we are not technical people here, what made AI possible in the first at the first time is access to large data sets and access to analysis of large data sets with increasing computing power, and the fact that we switched from basic algorithms to automated algorithms that learn from themselves, learning algorithms, and now even with neural networks, the way they interface with each other, the way they interact with each other in ways that sometimes go beyond the way we comprehended it when starting it. So these tech, they are not going away anytime soon. Definitely these, from the impact it has, we've seen it in the crypto space, not only with narratives, so it started with that, but now, for example, we use generative AI for support. That actually brought us a lot to learn from, because we realized that these AI, well, they know our FAQs super well, they know our typical answers, etc. super well, but the way users speak about their problems to us when they come for support to customer support service, the way they speak is very different. So our our generative AIs need to adapt to that, and they are learning from our customers as time goes through. So I'm sorry they are not perfect yet, they are not perfected, but it's with your help that we're going to make them work better. So that's one aspect. Obviously now there are also AI trading tools that we are trying to integrate with automated learning algorithms that learn from the trends, that try to match the reversals, etc. But to be honest, I'm not a very good trader myself, so I will not be advising you. I'm only sinking my own ship.
That's really interesting. How does it change for a customer? So they know they are interacting with AI, and so you think their behavior is different?
That's a good question, actually. Is their behavior different when they think they are talking to an agent, like a human agent, or an automated generative AI? This I do not know. What I know is that from the way they speak about their problems, the way we first integrated this generative AI to answer their problems was not the proper way, because the words that they use to describe their problems is different from the words we use.
Okay, thank you. So for Nadim, is AI really generating new alpha, or is it more about bringing more efficiency in the risk management?
Well, first of all, it's not bringing new alpha at all. Zero. Right?
Well,
It's
that was the question.
It's just old tech that's just being repositioned and is making things more efficient in the current technological sphere that we're in. Like, for example, crypto. I mean, what is AI used for crypto? I mean, trading, algorithms. To be honest, that's all I can think of. I mean, there's nothing else aside from meme coins and trading.
There is Bitcoin.
Right?
Never forget.
What did you say?
I mean, there is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is different from anything we've had ever before. But I would not go too deep into the topic.
I mean, it's a panel. We can interact.
Yeah, we can just discuss. But in terms of efficiency, it doesn't make things better.
I mean, I would argue it's the first store of value that we have in the world that you can actually transport anywhere, send everywhere without constraint, and receive from everywhere without constraint. So that's definitely a change from anything that we knew before as a paradigm. But how it fits your example with AI, I'm not sure.
Please, it's a discussion. Please go ahead.
No, were you talking about, like, I mean, did you say the limit about AI bringing value in terms of
value
in terms of investment?
Yeah, in terms of
Right.
investments.
Okay, because in the venture capital space, which is it's an industry where we've been working for decades in a very old-fashioned way. So this is the Excel spreadsheet type of methodology, coupled with having coffees with founders. So it's very limited. And now we are in a world where we have billions of data, new data generated every second. And how do we use them? How do we use them in the non-listed market? Because in the listed market, it's different, right? We've seen the evolution of hedge fund and algo hedge fund for the past 15 years now. And obviously, it is based on numbers. You can easily model number and extract predictions. How about early stage companies? Well, now it's possible because machine learning has been obviously evolving massively, and with multimodal AI, where anything you say, anything you write, any video, any sound, any interview, any number can be computed and translated into a prediction. So, I mean, we've been actually ourselves working for 2 years now in a proprietary model, which is a predictive model. And the idea is to give you the companies which have a percentage above 70% to go to the next round. So if the company is like pre-seed, if it reached 70% or above probability to reach the next round, then we would look at it.
Is that Web3?
What do you say?
Is that Web3 or is that traditional?
I did. Actually, Web3 could be applied to token even more, because you could add all the layer of data on chain. So, but otherwise, it's whatever you find in terms of numbers, which is not much in early stage, plus anything else. So sentiment analysis, et cetera, et cetera. It could be macroeconomics. Numbers and
I mean,
stuff.
call me old school, but I like to do everything manually. To be fair.
No, that's fine. I mean, I'm not saying the human doesn't have any value anymore. However, whatever you extract from that type of model is going to enhance you and give you a competitive edge. Through what you're going to extract, basically. Yeah, sure, of course. We're being augmented pretty much by those models as human.
Do you want to add something to you.
This is fun.
So, what are the most common misconception for investor when assessing AI startups? You can.
Well, I can speak for crypto investors because we've had lots of bad examples during this cycle.
Sure.
Like, they were looking at people making a lot of money because there was AI in the name of a project, even if
Which
there was
can be
no
a buzzword.
even if it was there was no AI component, so to speak of, even if it was just automated functions in a project or whatever, AI was popping everywhere. So unfortunately, it's one of these techs, since they raise bubbles around them, you're compelled to go a bit deeper, you're compelled to really do your own research, and yes, it's tiring, yes, it's long, but in the end, if you want to really invest in something that's at least investing, developing in the tech that you think will change the world or will explode in terms of value in the near long run, then please, you have to do this. So don't just follow the AI, I would say, scheme copycats, whatever, everything that you find in such regards. And one thing that we had, especially this cycle, was the AI agents. So AI agents are those copycats of ChatGPT that were technically designed to answer you in a specific way, depending on some specific, I would say, topics or usage that you would impose on them. For example, if you wanted a specific AI agent to help you trade, you would have some kind of ChatGPT that is better at trading than the regular one, or should be. But in the end, same thing. We had tons of people thinking these AI agents were going to be common ground, that people had a thirst for it for real, and we end up looking around these days, and most of these projects first have not developed anything around the AI agents that they created. Like, they are not better than the basic ChatGPT, to be honest, or the new versions that are getting out, etc. So once again,
sometimes the token doesn't have really
and the token has
really
no
a utility one.
etc. So yes, there is a trend, there is definitely a narrative around these AI agents, there is narrative around AI, but please guys, don't forget, do your own research. It's really about like trying to find projects that actually use the tech and maybe even develop new solutions. It takes time, I know, sorry to bring bad news.
Yeah, I would say that it's investing in the mistake is to invest in good ideas rather than good and non-replicable ideas. Otherwise, you fall on the app type of investment, which can be viral very quickly, but then fall, just after. So that's that. And then the market fit. Like the idea can be good. Is there a market for it? Is the universe ready to get and adopt that idea? Because like often the problem of like our communities is that we are tech enthusiasts and we love every idea and we think the world is there and we are just like 10 to 20 years ahead of the world.
And sometimes you can even be trapped by the data, because if you look at people nowadays, you ask them, do you use ChatGPT, do you use Grok, whatever, they are all using it. Most people are really using these bots, these generative bots now. And so you would think that AI agents would take off much more than they did if you looked at just the data that you had. But in some ways, that would be interesting to analyze. I mean, even for researchers, not for us, because it's kind of a phenomenon. Why do specific AI agents work less to attract people than the common ones? Like it's kind of a reverse situation compared to Ford, when he was building his cars, like I don't care as long as they are black. But people came and made more diverse cars, and it sold better than his initial models. So then it's kind of reverse. You have this ChatGPT, Grok, etc. that everybody uses. We try to make more specific models, and in the end, people prefer to come back to the more general, more like centralized, also even version of the product. Very interesting to check.
Very true. Yeah.
Nadim, do you want to add something?
I got lost, to be fair. But in terms of misconceptions, I mean,
Yes.
so you don't need the token to have the product. I mean, a lot of these so-called AI projects that have these AI agents, Web3 projects, they have the token first, and then they say, oh yeah, we're going to build in 6 months. No, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Either you have the tech that's actually useful for something, and then you augment it with a token, and then or it doesn't work. And when I'm talking about this from a VC perspective, I mean, you have to look at the technology first in terms of AI. I mean,
Yeah,
my point of view.
that's what we were mentioning. Sometimes you create the AI agent, but the token is not really a utility token. It's completely unlinked to the project, so it doesn't really have a value. And about this, Dorian, how do you have a lot of AI-related projects on KuCoin? How do you select them? Do you know something about the process of selection for the listing?
Unfortunately, I cannot speak for the listing team. Like, that's a very separate team.
Your idea, then.
And they would kill me if I.
What would you do?
If they give their secret sauce out to the open, they'll kill me. So I'm sorry, I cannot go this way. What I can say though is that one aspect that we look around for projects, even in the AI sphere, etc., is really about this sense of community. We really try to create, on KuCoin, we really try to aggregate communities around tokens. So we are really looking at the strength of the communities that you create and that you manage to, I mean, projects, there is also a huge part of make-believe in this. And if you manage to do it already with a strong community that you build organically, this we pay a lot of attention to when it comes to getting in touch with the listing team, etc. This is the most basic aspect. Obviously, we're going to look at the tokenomics. If your token is mostly sold in private sales, and I think that's something like from investor side, you know very well, you don't want too much of the supply to be VC, to be whatever.
It's a red flag.
Yeah, because then it's the rule of thumb makes it so that you will be facing a very dire situation when the public sale will take place.
And how are you seeing AI integrated right now into the investment decision-making process? And can you share some example, or if we are not there yet, how do you see the future?
Well, yeah, I guess we did like very quickly mention it earlier on. I think for investors like such as VC, using AI, it's not just AI, it's building your proprietary data set. It starts with that. Because if every VC has the same model and the same signal, then it defeats the purpose. So you have to have your own model, which requires a team or whatever. If you succeed to build your own data, and then you have, again, not only a model which scraps that data and analyzes data, but gives you prediction about the companies, then again, your starting point, instead of like reading 1,000 of pitch decks a month, you know, the machine is going to do that for you. And again, you're going to calibrate your model in a way that you desire, and then you get signals. From there, the job starts. From there, our role is to interpret the results and to have a strong view, because we need to report to our investors. It's not just like, oh, I lost money, but the model said I had to invest, right? It doesn't work this way. We always have to justify why we win and why we lose. And when it's model-based, especially when it's using multimodal AI, it's very complex. Well, the sentiment analysis told us that it was a great company. You know, it's not going to be good enough. So it's going to be one element. The foundation is much, much higher. Again, as I was mentioning, like the venture capital firm, which are using models right now, are being enhanced in their capacity to understand the market, to analyze the market, and to predict the market. However, we still need the human to make the decision. So I would say the investment process encompasses the model, but this is not the model.
She said it all. I mean, you can use 30% AI to...
For the next question, you should answer first. So.
We're on the same wavelength, you know, like, yeah.
Yeah, so how does AI currently play, what role does AI currently play in public market in investing?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, sorry. Too much noise. So what role does AI currently play in public market investing? Are we seeing material alpha from machine learning models, or as Karine said, is most human oversight still the key?
It's like, I'm sorry, guys. I think like I have to take all the questions. Come on, Amelia. No, but very
Please be my
quickly,
guest.
yeah, very quickly on this one. Like the public market is listed market. So think about how many, like, you know, what quantity of data do we have available? If you're listed, you have more data than non-listed. If you're non-listed late stage, you have more data than early stage. So basically, when it comes to public market, you have enough data from numbers, financials, obviously market data themselves, and all the rest. So you can add, if you want, the sentiment analysis and everything. So the role it plays is much bigger. And in public market, we will go faster towards algo, like automated trading. But again, then it's going to depend which market we're talking about. Like some are more liquid than others, and some can be automated more than others.
Would you recommend some AI tool for investing?
ChatGPT.
Only? Okay.
Well, I think now almost every trading platform would have some form of offering in terms of automated trading. We were actually talking about it just before with our friends from Swissborg, and yes, so with automated trading coupled with AI agent, you can now have an AI agent trading for you automatically. It's possible, and I think every platform now is offering that.
Yeah, I mean, every centralized exchange has trading bots.
Exactly.
And they're actually really useful, to be fair. But just don't rely 100% on it. You will end up losing money 100% fully. Yeah.
Well, I would.
But that will make money.
I was hearing you. I was hearing both of you speaking, and it reminded me about like a couple of months ago. I read a paper where they made this experiment where you actually had. So we asked people to take an investment decision using or not using AI as an advisor. And the result was when the prediction of AI was too far away from the prediction that the person initially had, they would tend not to rely on it, despite the fact that they saw it succeed better than them in the past. So there are lots of biases that we can observe among ourselves about how we interact with those agents. Should it be investment decisions? But it's obviously not about that. Like, in some ways, you could even think, what would we think if it was an AI just like condemning people depending on the crime, etc. So this is a vast, I would say, topic where we need to also think about the human biases when we interact with them and what we can acknowledge personally among those biases. Because it was also the case that in certain settings, like when people had less strong convictions about their choices, investment choices, they would rely much more heavily on AI than on their own decision. So this experiment was really interesting. I will try to find the link. Maybe we can have a follow-up in the main chat for the event, and I will try to drop it there. But really interesting to see that maybe at some point it's actually like if you give the illusion to humans that they have control, in the sense that they can maybe take the decision on some very small part of the variable, and you make them believe that the decision is theirs, but in the back end, it's fully, what they show is actually fully run and automated by AI, etc. You might have this situation where it's actually AI making the decision, and humans have the illusion of it. So, well, that's just me.
This is how Terminator started, no?
It's me thinking out loud, sorry. But because there are those experiments actually being run right now by scientists, and it is very interesting to see because now we have lots of settings where we actually interact with those bots, which was not the case before, and we collect a lot of data about it. So you can even see it on Twitter, how people interact with bots on Twitter is also one kind of a study. Like it changes their behavior on the long run. They don't use the platform once they interacted with bots that have a specific usage. For example, there are bots that are used to create reaction, to make you more angry or sad or happy, etc. Once they get those reactions from the people interacting with them, the people who interacted change their behavior on the platform, and this behavior never comes back to normal. So really interesting to look at what we do with those agents.
So we have like 5 minutes. Is there any question from the audience? Don't be shy. Okay, I have mine. So how has the investment thesis about around AI evolved over the last couple of years, and now are we in a hype cycle, or what do you think about the future, the application of the future, or also about the AI startups? Will they be better? It's like a bubble. What do you think?
Depends what you mean. We're talking about Web3, or are we talking about Web2?
No, AI in general. Web2
AI in general.
and Web3.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because...
Why the range? Because the panel was about AI in general, actually, not only related to Web3.
So it's a new technology, right, at its infancy. And we see it as people are becoming lazy. They use ChatGPT every day. But it's still like small percentage of what people can use. So I think we're going to see a lot of integration in AI in a lot of things. Like, for example, like simple things. You're ordering a coffee, it's going to be an AI bot controlling the coffee machine or whatever. So we're going to see a lot of these things, and a lot of human interaction is going to go away, which is really a bad thing, honestly, in terms of daily life. But from an investment perspective, like she said, what I think is we can use 30% to develop the data, to get information on pitch decks, not to read 10,000 pitch decks, and then the human makes the decision. But as we go along, I think it's going to get even worse, because we're going to use AI for everything. Not me, maybe her, but not me. But yeah, I think it's going to develop in a way that's going to be bad if uncontrolled. It just needs to be controlled. That's it.
Yeah. So on the not him but me. It's funny you say that, because like I have two boys who are doing everything possible with ChatGPT, everything. To the point when they need to take a decision, I can feel in their face that they're freezing. Like, I don't know, I need to check ChatGPT. And I'm like, no, you can use as much as you want, but you need to think by yourself.
How old are they?
You will not know.
Do not ask this question.
Old enough. Yeah, so what I mean by that is, like, I think the danger is, as you said, like, to trust the machine to the point that it's truth versus it's a point of view. Maybe it's a very good point of view. Maybe it's the point of view of the universe, but it's still a point of view. Do you agree with it? Do you don't agree with it? So I think we must be all the time capable of challenging. But back to your question, which is not at all philosophical. And on another thing you said, it's a new technology, and it's new and it's not new, because AI is 1956. It started, artificial intelligence. So it's not that new. It's new from a B2C point of view. And it became ChatGPT viral in 5 days, more than like 1 million users on 5 days. So why? Because people have realized that everything is going to change from that point. Our behaviors, the way we think, the way we work, the way we interact. So every one of us, whether we use a lot LLMs or not a lot, we know it's changing things in a very fundamental, transversal way. So from that point of view, it's not a hype. We are in a new era, that's for sure. What is a hype is the thousand of AI wrappers project labeling themselves AI when there is no innovation. And it's a good idea, and maybe it's gonna, they're gonna make a bit of money, but it's not a good investment for you.
Dorian.
Well, first I would like to thank you for all your questions.
That's the conclusion.
Thank you.
We have a new moderator.
No, I'll take sides.
I thought it was irony because
Honestly,
we didn't get
AI
any questions.
was a hype. It was a hype. The first half of this cycle definitely was a hype. We are yet to see some actual products that will justify the future value, but it will be there. Once again, it's a technological bubble cycle. It's very hard to choose the right projects, but they are there. Do not hesitate. They are there. We don't know which ones will be selected, which one will deliver, but we can be sure there will be some. And contrary to what is being said, as you mentioned, it's really not a technology that's going. AI is never going to be as bad as today or yesterday. From now on, we're just moving forward, and it's improving by the time, by each data point that we create in time, it's getting better. So there is absolutely no reason to believe that it's going any other way. Now, just beware. You've been warned. There is a lot of hype out there. There are lots of people trying to use the narrative as a brand. So please don't get caught.
Not financial advice.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening, and thank you for our amazing panelists.
On. Thank you, everybody. Next, we're going to be doing the VC pitches. I think we have a little bit of time, 8 more minutes.